Today, we're going to take a look at the Ikigai Maru. Strange name, cool watch. Now, last year I reviewed the prototype, but I recently got my hands on a production unit. And every once in a while, I do like to show how Kickstarters end up, as well as go over the things that might have changed since I last saw them. Especially in a situation like this, as I think it's a good example of what happens when a brand owner really cares and listens to what people have to say. And one quick disclaimer, this watch was given to the channel for doing the original review. In short, I'm not getting anything else for doing this video. So I did put the promotional tag up just to be safe, but I don't know if I really need to. I'm just doing it for full transparency. Anyway, let's start with a recap. Now, the Maru is a dive watch inspired by an old Japanese sailing ship, the Nihon Maru. And as you can see, it's a pretty interesting original design. And one thing that I really love here is that lume is a key part of it. It wasn't an afterthought, but the idea of illuminated components was with the design from the get-go, especially with the very unusual loomed sidewalls, giving off this whole Tron-esque type vibe. Now, the lume on the prototype was cool looking, but was overall pretty weak, pretty disappointing. So I was happy to see that they addressed that, and in the end they've created a funky cool watch which could rival a Seiko when it comes to longevity. But that wasn't the only change. There were a number of others here, including some major ones, like the bezel. Originally, the prototype had a stainless insert, but after they got some feedback, they upgraded it to ceramic, which is a great upgrade for anyone that jumped on the Kickstarter expecting stainless. Over on the dial, they changed the font to black, as well as outlined the logo to help it stand out more. But the one thing that immediately stood out to me is that the hands were changed. The design's basically the same, but the original hands were really flat, whereas here they've added some depth to them to give them more of a three-dimensional shape, which I think works well with the already multiple dimensions of the dial, giving more depth to the entire design. The case back was also tweaked, but it is a pretty minor change, just going to a brush design over a polished, which should help it wear better over time. Another change is that the end links used to stick out just a little bit beyond the lugs. And that's something that I know a lot of feedback was given on. So here they've been brought back to now be flush. As well as they've given the clasp a much nicer design. They've also added some polished chamfers to the lugs, which is a really nice surprise. When I saw the prototype, I didn't really think it needed it, but I think it does help highlight the overall case shape and is a great addition. I thought the prototype had a really good, bold, interesting design. Something bright, easy to read, very clean and symmetrical. It was something familiar, yet it definitely stood out from a crowd, which is what a microbrand really needs to do these days. So, other than the lume, I thought it was pretty good as it was. But I'm glad that they were listening and they took the effort to take things up a notch with some nice upgrades. Which I think shows that the brand's owner, Oscar, was really listening. And not just to us reviewers, but to those who believed in it enough to jump on the Kickstarter. And he really wanted to deliver something special they'd be happy with. And for me, that's really what Kickstarters are supposed to be about. Not just a way to start a business, but also a way to reward those that believe in your vision as well. Like I said, this is a quick one, so as usual, let me know what you think about the watch down below and how it turned up. And especially if you happen to jump on the Kickstarter way back when. And as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do something down below. I'm Shane, this is All the Time, and I'll see you next time.